Hey there, and welcome to another InvoiceBerry tutorial on how to optimize your business workflows with the help of Zapier and InvoiceBerry. My name is Uwe. I'm the founder of InvoiceBerry, a simple and easy online invoicing software for small business owners. Today we're looking at Forms.app. It's a form builder, like a lot of other form builders out there, but it comes at a very good price, and I like the design. It's a bit retro for me, but quite interesting. Not the sort of paper form, type form sort of form builder. Let's get right started. So what we're trying to do today is we're trying to have a form. I think I set up already the form in my account. Let's have a look in a moment. It's a cake business I think I want to run, and someone can order a cake and they will automatically, as soon as they click the button, they will receive an invoice via InvoiceBerry for that cake. So let's get right into it. Let's go into my form account. Yeah, perfect. The cake order form. So the first thing you have to do is you have to set up your form. Let's just say edit to have a quick look at it. So you have to set up your form. In this case, this was a template. I have some cakes, some prices. This cake is $10, $20. And so on. I added some additional information. I asked for the first name, last name, for the email address, phone number, delivery address makes sense. And then what you also have to do, you have to fill out your form once by yourself, because there needs to be some data in your form that Zapier can use as sample data. So let's go right into Zapier. And once you're in your dashboard, you have to connect the accounts. So we want to connect the Forms.app with InvoiceBerry. And as a trigger, we want to use a new form submission. That's the only possible trigger, so there's not a lot you can choose from. And as an action, we want to create a new invoice. All right, as a first step, we have to connect our Forms.app account with Zapier, and as a second step we have to connect InvoiceBerry with Zapier. So let's click here on connect, and that's it. Like, it just automatically went through the workflow. I think because I'm already logged into my Forms.app account, so it just confirmed everything, and that's it. Very nice. I just click on next, and now I have to select what form I want to use in this automation. In this case, it's my cake order form. I click on next, and now I have to connect my InvoiceBerry account. Let's click on connect. And in InvoiceBerry's case, we need the API key and the API password. You find that in the settings. So let's head over to InvoiceBerry. Just go to settings, then click on main settings, and then here you have to click on integration. And on the integrations page, you will see your API key and password. You might have to click on the request key button if you haven't ever requested your API key and password before. So let's click on copy and pop that into the API key field, and then go back to InvoiceBerry, copy the API password, pop that into the API password field. Perfect. Our InvoiceBerry account has been connected to Zapier. Let's click on next. And then we can select the client ID. But actually, whenever someone fills out the form, we want to create a new client and a new invoice. So we just don't click on anything here. We just click on next. And then Zapier offers us all the fields that InvoiceBerry might want to receive to create an invoice. And then we can match them in the next step with our data from Forms.app. In this case, we want probably a client name, let's say a client email, client phone number. We want the first and last name of the client, the street, the city, and let's see, what else do we want? The item description, unit cost, quantity, and we also want send invoice. So then we click on next, and now we have to match the InvoiceBerry fields with the data we received from Forms.app. And once again, you might have been asked by Zapier to create some sample data in the previous step. I've already submitted my cake form once, so Zapier could already get some sample data. So now I'll show you why that is important. When I click here and I want to match some of the Forms.app data with the InvoiceBerry client name field, you can see that there's a lot of things that might be confusing, a lot of descriptions that might not make sense, but thankfully Zapier offers us all the sample inputs here. So in this case, the form submission was done by me. So as a client name, I can select the first name field, I leave a space, and the last name field. So the client name will be first name, last name. Similarly, the client first name I can just match with the first name, and the last name I can match with the last name. Now going back to the email, we have to check where's the email. Okay, I used my InvoiceBerry email address. The phone number, I need to look if I left the phone number, I'm not sure. Yes, there's a phone number. And then for the street, I can go all the way down here. We have the street and we also have the city. And again, it really depends what sort of fields you added to your Forms.app form and what sort of fields you want in your InvoiceBerry invoice. The currency is a required field. In this case, I'm just going to select US dollars. And the date of issue, I would just select the date when the form was submitted. So that was a few days ago, create date. And now we get to the interesting part, the item description, the cost, and the quantity. In this case, I think as the item description, I would use, let me see, probably the summary of the product basket. It mentions the products, the different cakes I selected. I think I renamed those from product title to chocolate cake and vanilla cake, but in my sample submission it was still just called product title. So in your case this would be the actual product title, for example chocolate cake, vanilla cake, and it shows you here 1 unit, $10, 2 units, $100, so 50 each, and a total of 110. So probably that would be my description. The unit cost, we should somewhere have that as well. Let's see. Yeah, the grand total of the basket, so that would be 110, and the quantity 1. And again, you could make that a bit more elaborate by listing each cake separately, but for that we would need to add an additional Zapier step of taking the data, of slicing it into separate variables, and then putting it back into InvoiceBerry. That probably would make this video at least 15-20 minutes longer. I might make another video about that in the future. Our Calendesk video actually uses some of these 3-step automations, but in this video we just want to keep it short and sweet. Do you want to automatically send the invoice, or do you want to just create a draft in InvoiceBerry? So if you say no, you just create a draft in your InvoiceBerry account. If you say yes, it will also automatically send the invoice to your client. Let's click on next. Here again, it will show you all the matching information. On the left, you see the fields in InvoiceBerry. On the right, you see the sample data from Forms.app. And when you click on send test, Zapier will now send that information to InvoiceBerry, and InvoiceBerry will instantly create an invoice and send it to your customer. Perfect. The test was successful. Let's quickly go into our InvoiceBerry account, click on invoices. I heard my phone vibrating in the background, so I already received the invoice. And let's look here. This is me, $110. Let's click on it. Perfect. This is a client name, first name, last name. the address, here are the product details, the price, and that's it. Perfect. The invoice was created successfully. The beauty with InvoiceBerry is you can also connect InvoiceBerry to payment gateways such as Stripe, Square, WePay, PayPal, and a few more gateways. And when you do that, you have a Pay Now button on your invoice. So whenever your customer fills out the form, the data gets sent to Zapier, then Zapier sends it to InvoiceBerry. InvoiceBerry will send the invoice to your customer with the Pay Now button. They can double check the information, click on the Pay Now button, and pop in their credit card details and pay you. And it's a perfectly automated workflow, making your life way much easier and removing a lot of admin work from your life. Thanks a lot for listening. And if you've got any other questions on how to automate your business with the help of Zapier and InvoiceBerry, just let me know about it and I'm happy to help you. Have a great day, bye bye, and happy invoicing.